Hey there! Welcome to my home. This is Moos'n Around the Kitchen with Terry Moose Butler. In today's episode, I'm going to make my all-time favorite recipe, and that's my homemade Alfredo sauce. So I'm going to give away the secret, so if you want to see it, stay tuned. Alright, let's get cooking. We're going to keep it basic here with tonight's recipe, starting with the bow tie noodles. It's my favorite noodle to use with this recipe for my Alfredo sauce. I also do like to use the Mafalda noodle, and spirals are really good too with this recipe. We're going to have a heavy whipping cream here to go along with that, just regular salted butter, and of course the natural chicken. I do like to keep the shredded Parmesan and the minced garlic on hand, because I pretty much use that for just about everything that I cook with. Alright, so our first step here is we're cooking up the chicken breast. I already got the oven set to 400 degrees to start out with, and I got my layer of Reynolds wrap down. Just grab a chicken breast here, flip it upside down. Now, I like to use just a few seasonings, just a little pepper, and then a little garlic salt. You can really use whatever it is that you like best. Some good options would be an all seasoning, if you want to just do regular salt, Cajun seasoning, chili powder even if you like that. Throw some onions down in there, whatever you think is going to make you the happiest. Then I take the chicken breast here, shake it off a little bit, flip it around. We'll throw a little bit more on there on both sides. Another good option here is to just throw some fresh garlic right into it, and then lay the chicken breast with this side, the open side, put the garlic here, plop it down right on top of the garlic, and whatever other seasons you want to cook up there. Now you're going to take this, you're just going to fold it into there. And you make yourself a nice little cooking packet for your chicken. We'll get a couple of those going and we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so now that we got the chicken all prepared, now we're going to throw it into the oven. Again, just want to remind you that I have the oven set at 400 degrees and we're going to let it cook for 30 minutes. I got the timer set. We're going to throw that chicken in. One thing about the chicken though, I just want to remind everybody safe handling instructions with the chicken is it's important to wash your hands after you touch chicken anytime. So with this recipe tonight, we're going to do some broccoli on the side, some steamed broccoli. My boys love broccoli. And with all the other ingredients I'm using tonight, the garlic salt, the Parmesan cheese. The Parmesan cheese is a nice little something to sprinkle on top of the broccoli. The pasta tonight, that'll only take 15-20 minutes to cook, so you don't even have to start that right away. And then the sauce tonight, that's only going to take about 15 minutes. So you can actually let the chicken cook for about 15 minutes before you really get started on everything else. I do like to start the water right away, and for the broccoli and for the noodles, because that can sit around. But it's nice to have a nice hot sauce and nice hot chicken to go in together all at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and get that started here. And once that chicken gets cooking, and especially if you use the fresh garlic, that smell is just going to be so amazing. I can't wait. Oh, this is going to be so good. Alright, now we got the noodles cooking, we've got the broccoli going, and we've got the chicken in the oven. We're at about the 15-minute mark here, so I'm going to go ahead and get the sauce started. And again, the amount of garlic really is up to you. I'm a huge garlic fiend. So I put a nice couple big scoops in there. Really like to smell that garlic, taste that garlic. I have the heat set at about a 4, just a little bit below medium. And something else I like to do in this recipe, always just toss in a little bit of pepper. I'll throw in a little bit of sea salt on here as well, and we'll let all that cook together. There's a lot of different options here that you can use. Oregano, basil, you can throw in, I guess, a little bit of olive oil. I like to use a nice stick of butter here. There's all sorts of different types of seasonings that you can use. But this is really how you get it started. We've got the garlic in there just starting to fry. Now the reason why we keep it on this temperature of heat is, one, we don't want the garlic to burn, and two, we do not want the butter to burn, because if the butter burns, then that can really mess up your sauce. You just want to start out with the butter melting into this garlic and getting a nice little start to the base of your sauce. And we'll just stir it around here a little bit, and we'll check back in on this once this butter is melted. Alright, so you can see here it's starting to bubble up a little bit, so that means it's almost time to go ahead and add the heavy whipping cream. We want to wait till it gets a little bit frothier. What I like to do here is you see that I've already added some more pepper. And the reason why I like to add the pepper on there is not just for the flavor, but it gives your sauce a little bit of color. But that's another reason why it's nice to add the basil or the oregano, and that also adds a little flavor, and it gives it a nice aroma, and it gives it a little bit of color. So we're going to go ahead and just stir this up a little bit. Now one of the things to remember with your Alfredo sauce, once you get to this point, you have to have your eyes on it at all times, because you do not want the butter to burn, you do not want the cream to burn, and you do not want the cheese to burn. This is just about ready though. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get the cream ready to roll in. Again, we have 1 stick of butter. As far as the amount of cream that you want to add to your recipe here, it's really up to you. For every stick of butter, I like to add about a pint of heavy whipping cream. I've been making this recipe so long though, I just kind of eyeball it. I'll do a half of one of these for a stick of butter. And now we're just going to go ahead and just stir it in. I really wish you could smell this. It is just amazing. Alright, now we're just back here checking on the sauce. Again, we're starting to see it kind of froth up just a little bit. I'm going to not stir it here. But again, you don't have to stir it every moment, but you want to continually stir here and there. If you can see little pieces of garlic are starting to float up, and that garlic has a nice light brown color, our sauce, the cream has mixed in with the butter really well here. But again, continually stirring. And once this is all frothed up, then we can go ahead and add the cheese. As far as adding cheese, there's a lot of options there as well. I love the standard Parmesan, but you can use the Asiago, you can use Romano, you can use the blend. But really, my favorite is the Parmesan. Now, how much Parmesan you add really is up to you. Again, I love the cheese. You know how to shake this up and loosen it up a little bit. Move this over. So now we see we got that froth going. This is about time where we're going to go ahead and add the cheese. Again, the amount of cheese is really up to you. If you were going to make a recipe with this, a cup of cheese, 1 stick of butter, and a pint of heavy whipping cream. But the cheese amount is up to you. Depends on how thick or how light you like it. And I feel comfortable with this level of frothiness. Again, you don't want it to get too frothy because you don't want to burn the cream, you don't want to burn the butter, you don't want to burn the garlic, and you definitely don't want to burn the cheese. So I'm just going to go ahead, grab about a handful. And a handful is pretty close to a cup. Another little sprinkle here. And we're just going to go ahead and keep stirring this up. Again, I can't reiterate enough how important it is when you're making your Alfredo sauce to be attentive and on top of it the entire time. And I still have the heat at a medium heat. And then once our Alfredo sauce is done, and as you can see, it's just about done here. Everything's mixed in nicely. But again, you want to keep on stirring it. Maybe for another 2 or 3 minutes here. And it'll be ready to serve. Alright, so the timer just went off for the chicken. So we're going to go ahead and pull that chicken out and we'll get it all diced up. One of the interesting things though with Alfredo sauce is it's actually a relatively new recipe. It was developed by a man named Alfredo di Lilio. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I hope so. But it was invented in Rome, of all places. So we're going to go ahead and get this chicken cut up. The noodles are just about done. We'll get those drained. And the sauce is almost there as well. I really wish you could smell this. It is amazing. All right, so here's another one of my secrets that I like with this recipe. Because you're cooking chicken breast, it gives you the opportunity to make a nice chicken broth, believe it or not. Because that's what those little packets do. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what we're doing here. So we're going to just unfold this chicken here. Now we got a nice little juice in there. Now, the other night I had cooked up some chicken for a recipe that I will be featuring again on one of my episodes here. It's a nice brown rice chicken dish that I make. I'll take this chicken here. And so I already got a little chicken broth going. And what's nice with this is you can cook a huge batch of chicken this very same way. And you can set yourself up for an amazing chicken noodle soup, which again is another thing that I'm going to be showing you. So we're just going to go ahead and take this juice. Let's see, make sure you can see this in there. We're going to go ahead and take this juice. We're just going to pour it right into my glass jar. Now I'm going to have to make this chicken noodle soup here probably within the next week or two because we don't want this broth to sit in the fridge too long. It's all natural. So it could go bad pretty quickly. Because again, this has only the ingredients that I put in it. So it has the garlic salt. So what really makes it good is if you use fresh garlic. It's got garlic salt and the pepper, and that's it. And then of course the chicken broth and all that deliciousness that goes with it. That's going to make yourself an amazing chicken noodle soup base. And then you can take this chicken, if you do a huge batch of chicken, go ahead and cut it up, dice it up, throw it in the freezer, and then when you're ready to cook your chicken noodle soup, bam, you have half of your chicken noodle soup ready to go. I can't even believe I just said bam just a minute ago. I need to come up with my own phrase. So when it comes to cutting up the chicken, really, it's up to you how you want to cut it. It can be nice slices, beautiful, or you can just chop it up, because it really doesn't matter. It's going to taste good anyways. But this is what I do, just so you can all see. Take my chicken breast and I just slice it right down the middle. So I get two nice little halves here. We're going to just flip these guys over. Fork it and just do nice little slices. This smells so good. And I got that sauce, which is just about done. Of course, when you're the cook, you get to taste. This is so good. I'm so sorry. I wish you could be here to join me with this meal. All right, we're almost done here. I'm going to go ahead and throw this chicken right into the pot with the noodles. Now, part of the reason that I also use the olive oil when I'm boiling the noodles, as you strain the noodles, the olive oil will help the noodles from sticking. So now, the next step then, the sauce is done, the noodles are done, the chicken's done, the broccoli's done. If you want, you can go ahead and lay the noodles down on a plate, pour the sauce on top of the noodles, and then lay the chicken out so it's got a nice look. Nothing wrong with presentation. But when it comes to my boys, I like to get the food on their plate and ready to eat. So what we're going to do tonight, we're just throwing everything in together. We'll keep the broccoli on the side, but I've tossed the chicken in with the noodles. And let's just pan down here. And we can see the sauce is ready. Pour the sauce right onto that bowl of, or dish of noodles here. Whoa. All right. Admittedly, right there, I should have done a different camera angle for you. My apologies. So we go ahead and we're just going to just stir this all together. And I have some coworkers that I'm going to need to have help me eat this. Thank you for joining me in today's episode of Moos'n Around the Kitchen with Terry Moose Butler. If you like the recipe that you saw, please subscribe, share this video with your friends. Leave any comments, hit that like button down there, and tell me what you think. Is there anything that I can add? Is there anything in the show that you like? Is there anything in the show you don't like? I would love to hear what you have to say. And again, the smell. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. Okay, I'm not really that sorry that I'm going to eat this in front of you because it smells so good. It tastes so good. All right. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. And to everybody, happy cooking.